perfect lawnmower just now.
Oh,
Awesome. Good timing. It's
It's
amazing. Ooh, I think I'm good. I'm actually perfect right here. All right.
Wait, I'm not joking. We don't ask for like 10 minutes.
Oh, it's going to be about 20 minutes.
Oh, great. Okay, perfect.
That's okay. I can talk loud. Can you hear me fine?
We can.
What?
But, like,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, what? Can you hear me now?
Hold on, is this on?
Oh, I thought
Yeah, outdoor weddings.
Right?
So are we live?
Yes, we are.
Hello, everyone. Where am I looking? All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Are you ready for Mick and Lydia to finally get married?
Yes!
All right. My name is Michael Garza. I'm honored to be an old friend and to have been asked to be the officiant for Lydia and Mick. Thank you both for asking me to come here and inviting my family. And thank you all for joining us. Now, just a few things to know before we get started here. The bride and groom have said that you may take photos from where you're at, but please be discreet and mind others who are also trying to take photos. No photo bombing, Olivia. Mick and Lydia would prefer not to pose for photos, but feel free to catch all the spontaneous, wonderful moments that'll be happening during the day. You can send your photos to contact@mickcagney.com, or you can see the QR code that's floating around here and send it after the ceremony. But please feel free to take photos and share as you will. As always, we have to say at public events that you should set your phone to silent. If you're not taking photos, just turn it off. You don't need vibrations in your pocket. So nothing really interrupts the special day that we're going to have beginning in the next few moments. This will be a short ceremony, so if we can begin, please remain standing. If you need to go to the bathroom, do it quietly during the ceremony, but be mindful of the people around you, that they have a clear view, and just considerate of your neighbors. So we're going to have a wonderful time today. Are you ready to get these two married? Yeah! All right, so let's get to it. Now, family and friends, we know that Lydia and Mick are here today to get married, and that they are perfect for each other. Can I get an amen or a heck yeah? Yeah! All right. Now, today is a tremendous day of celebration. There are many joining from around the world, in France, Ireland, New York City, and Austin, Texas, as well as here in San Diego, the place that Lydia and Mick now call home. As we celebrate, we are mindful especially of Lydia's father, Ed Rodriguez, who's watching, I think, online now, and Izzy and Freya, who are watching overseas. And they are virtually present with us here, but we're thinking about them quite a bit. Our hearts, and in our hearts and minds today also is Lydia's mother, Jean, who passed away in 2014, joining us in spirit and body. We are very grateful to the family and friends joining us in all that is happening here today. Friends, how did we end up here today? How did these two people somehow not only end up meeting, but also end up falling in love and choosing to spend the rest of their lives together, more or less? Well, I'd like to spend the next few moments telling you one of the true story versions of how Lydia and Mick got here today. Our story begins nearly 3,000 miles from here at Patty Dugan's in Sunnyside, Queens, New York. An Irish pub with a well-worn pool table, $5 to $6 drinks, playing cards, a jukebox, and you could plug your phone in behind the bar. After a long subway ride from Manhattan, Patty's is an ideal refuge. And of course, these are all the necessary and sufficient conditions to attract the likes of Mick. He walks in, he sits down like any other night to have a drink, watch a game, and let his guard down. Tonight, however, would change his life for the better. Lydia notices Mick, and he seemed nice but quiet. Ordering an Amstel in the most kindly way, she thinks, he is really nice. Mick, a barman himself, always practical, appreciates that even though it was one of her first nights working at Patty's, Lydia was confident, no nonsense, and moving about effortlessly mixing with the regulars, like she had always belonged there. Lydia takes special care that everyone is having a great night in the bar, especially Mick. And Mick, well, he liked that. And he enjoyed how comfortable Lydia is in her own skin. Working near the fashion district, he noticed that she wore practical jeans and black trainers at work instead of the silly skirt and low-cut top that some places ask you to wear. There's a lot to like between these two. As the days go by, Mick learns Lydia's schedule. And each time he stops in, he makes sure that he's on time and sits in the sight, and the sight of her just relaxes him. But he refuses to ask her out until she stops working at Patty's, because he doesn't want his local to become weird. And Mick hopes that some night Lydia would be sitting beside him. Soon, Lydia lets Mick know that she's leaving Patty's to go on for a new job. They exchange numbers. And after a few days of not hearing from each other, texting messages here and there, suddenly messages were flying through the digital ether. Lydia and Mick text about how much they both love the Lord of the Rings movies, and they should have a movie marathon sometime. And then, more than a few days went by, and Lydia didn't hear from Mick. She became concerned, but he was absent. But in actuality, he was out on a diving trip with me. You see, Mick and I would often go on long dive trips offshore, and we would turn off our cell phones and pack them because they were useless out at sea. Well, when Mick got back to shore, he saw her messages and quickly responded, setting up the movie marathon immediately. Well, things went pretty well, obviously, though they never did get through the movies that night. And one date leads to two dates, and soon Lydia and Mick are building a life and a future together. In fact, 10 years ago, Mick and Lydia had an idea about sometime in the distant future. With this exact bottle, Lydia and Mick made a promise that if in 10 years they were still together, they would drink from that bottle with their friends and remember all the experiences in between. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that day, 10 years later, is today. So, at the end of the ceremony today, Lydia and Mick would like to share a toast from this bottle with their friends and family, celebrating back the past decade that they've had together. And over time, each wedding that they've gone to, Mick has told Lydia, we could do this. And to everyone's surprise, after Matt and Loretta's wedding, the thought stuck. Thinking about the bottle and what could be next, they had many discussions, and they looked at each other and said, meh, it feels pretty good, the time is right. And that was the proposal. And here we are today. They did it. Can we give it up for Lydia and Mick? All right. Well, this is such a beautiful story, and it's a story of two people deeply caring for one another, unabashed, sincere, and following their bliss together. It's because of moments in this story and many others that Mick can say of Lydia when I asked him what he loves about her, that she is the yin to my yang. I never worry about anything when I should, and she worries about everything when she shouldn't. Together we worry at just about the right amount of time. Lydia bravely puts her whole heart into friendships, even though it often means getting let down from time to time. And Lydia says of Mick, when I asked her what she loves about him, that he can always make me laugh. He's thoughtful and he cares, more than he seems to sometimes, but we are in sync about everything that matters. It's beautiful. Now, Lydia and Mick are in love. And two people in love tend to gush on about each other. But it's the opinions of family and friends that perhaps are a bit more objective. Well, I asked a few friends and family about Lydia and Mick, and a few of you are here today, and a few people, and many of us, a few of you are here today who love Lydia and Mick most. Here's what they had to say, what you had to say, and what I had to say as well. Mick's mother, Georgiana, with George for short, she said they suit each other. I remember Lydia's mother favorably was impressed that Mick lived on a boat in the East River. And once we all got on the train together in Tipperary, and Mick was all wound up. He started rapping away, and Lydia settled herself comfortably into the corner and fell asleep. He didn't mind, she didn't mind. Now that's a relationship with a future. Taryn went on to say that they're amazing friends to one another and how they support each other and balance each other and love to travel together. And it's like a superpower they have that somehow they always track down the best pint of Guinness wherever they are. Mary said, I love how genuine their love is, the support they've provided to pursue their dreams and taking good care of each other. It's so amazing, even after a fun night at Clem's. My heart is so full watching them go through this time and being able to share their next chapter. Well, you see, I wanted to add that Mick and I are master technical divers, so we're very serious about our practice. When we were preparing for a trip, we would constantly be doing rescue drills and changing O-rings and mixing gases. And because our lives were truly in each other's hands, I developed an acute sense of Mick under all conditions. Stress, happiness, fear, sometimes all three at once if we ate too many chicken wings after our practice. But Mick finally introduced me to Lydia, and in a single instant, I saw how my serious friend could be so full of joy. So happy for you both. And sincerely, thank you for asking me and my family to join you today. Thank you. Friends, the most important thing about today, about a wedding, about what makes us all come together in suits and gowns and less than comfortable shoes or tiger costumes, is what happens in the moments to follow next. Today is like no other day in the story of Lydia and Mick, because they've invited us here to observe and to witness and to celebrate what their love story has inspired. Promise. How they've grown together and come to this moment where they want to say to each other, I will be the person who is always here for you. I commit to loving you faithfully for as many years as I have left on earth. It's beautiful. So today, Lydia and Mick, you are here to say publicly to us and to each other that the bond that started to take root in all of your mundane moments and exciting excursions, that bond you will commit to keep strengthening wherever life takes you together from this day forward. So having said all that, Lydia and Mick, do you stand here today to give yourselves to each other in marriage?
I do.
You sure? This is the heart of the ceremony. The part of the day when Lydia and Mick break new ground into their relationship by making promises to each other, traditionally called vows. Lydia and Mick have opted to write their own personal vows to one another, so I invite Mick.
No.
Huh?
But,
Well, no, I invite Mick, you to say yours first. Mel, can you please bring the vows? Yeah. Did you order these?
yeah. Vows.com.
It just came in. Vows.com.
That's a startup. Okay. These vows end in a set of promises, but they are also a declaration of how Lydia has made me a better person. I tried to teach Lydia not to believe in people because they'll only let you down. Expect nothing and you won't be disappointed. The fact that there are people here from all over the country at such short notice in such challenging times only proves how Lydia's belief in friends trumps my skepticism. I was born set in my ways, and I'm always so sure my way is the best way. During the last 10 years, it has come to my attention that may not be so. We both joke about a quote from an old boss of mine that I was born at 40. Well, dating Lydia has shown me that there is enjoyment in the frivolous. One of the most fun days I've had this year was our annual trip to Monster Jam. So, my vows. I vow to listen to Spotify on shuffle. Sometimes. I vow to hold my friends to a higher standard and to allow myself to be disappointed if they don't meet it. I vow to open my heart to new people and to love where you've shown me to. I vow to get locked out of our car in a rainstorm again. I vow to listen to your point of view, and I vow to consider your point of view. There's a quote that got lost on my notes from a band that we went to see recently that says, I will not be the traveler that does not repay my debt, but I vow to be the traveler that repays my debt.
And now Lydia. Taryn, will you please bring the vows?
Mick. If someone told me when I started working at Patty Duggan's that I would meet my future husband there, I would have laughed in their face. And yet, I still remember the night you came in for the first time and introduced yourself to me. After all this time, I feel like we've already made long-lasting vows to each other. We've already taught each other so much. You've taught me patience. You've taught me to welcome change. And even though I'm still working on it, you taught me to look on the bright side and to go with the flow. For the next 10 years, I promise to continue practicing patience. I promise to keep working on being optimistic. I promise to always have an ear to listen and a shoulder to support whenever you need. I promise to make more time for you on my table. I promise to go to bed angry when there is a chance I won't remember why I was angry in the morning. I promise to say yes to adventure, to say yes to Mario Kart, and say no to the next animal you try to add to our imaginary menagerie. We have weathered many storms together, real and metaphorical, and I know that we made it through because we had each other. Together we can weather whatever comes next.
And let us all just take a moment to reflect on those amazing words that we've just heard spoken. Well, Lydia and Mick will now exchange rings as a symbol of their promises they've made here today and of their ongoing commitment to each other. No.
Take out your daughter.
Mick, please repeat after me. Lydia, I give you this ring as a reminder
Lydia, I give you this ring as a reminder
that I will love and honor you.
that I will love and honor you.
Please wear it as a sign of my commitment to you.
Please wear it as a sign of my commitment.
And Lydia. Lydia, please repeat after me. Mick, I give you this ring as a reminder
Mick, I give you this ring as a reminder
that I will love and honor you.
that I will love and honor you.
Please wear it as a sign of my commitment to you.
Please wear it as a sign of my commitment to you.
And now, with great joy in front of your closest friends and family, by the authority given to me by the Republic of California, I pronounce you husband and wife. Nick, you may kiss your bride. Wow. Congratulations.
Yep.
So, 10 years ago, on a cold, dark night, well, we heard the story. Lydia and Mick had this special bottle of whiskey, which helped bring us here today through a promise. We will now witness their first sip from this bottle, which they have just poured. And, well, go ahead and take a sip now. All right. 10 years is easy, huh? When you're having fun. Well, however, you guys can keep sipping. I'll go on. But
We will.
it's not the end of the story of this bottle. There's another volume. Well, we will certainly toast celebrating the past 10 years together today with this bottle. They would like you to join them as you wish. But there's a new promise and a new bottle. It's true. For the next 10 years. This time, Lydia and Mick will write notes to their future selves of what they're feeling, dreaming, and wishing for. And they've also invited all of us to contribute notes to the future, Lydia and Mick. With this new bottle here, inscribed on the date of today, all the notes will be sealed up and only opened after 10 years. Or if Lydia and Mick ever hit troubling times. All the meaning of this day will be imbued within the bottle and give Lydia and Mick a direct line back to this moment. The beginning of their union. What a beautiful gift. Not everyone may want to take a shot of whiskey at 1 p.m., but anyone can write a note for reflection, celebration, and good wishes to future Lydia and Mick. So please feel free to use, I think we have paper around.
Yeah, we have pens and paper.
We have pens and paper, and you can give them to us after the ceremony, and they'll be enclosed inside this box for the future. Well, all right. That's it. Now it's legit. They're really married. So a couple of remarks as we transition from here. The bride and groom are super happy that you're all here. Please, again, feel free to share any photos using the QR code. In the meantime, cocktail hour will continue, I guess. Not we'll have some hors d'oeuvres here in the garden. Whiskey toasts are available as long as there's whiskey in the bottle. And I'm sure other bottles can come as well.
Just not that one.
Just not that one. Yeah, not this one.
Yeah.
And then dinner reception will follow at 4:30 at Et Voila, the French bistro right around the corner, conveniently, so you can keep your cars parked wherever they are. Hi, honey. Closing drinks will be at Clem's Tap House. For directions there, just Google it and take an Uber or Lyft. You're on your own from there. On behalf of Lydia and Mick and their families, thank you so much for celebrating with us, and have a great rest of the day. Now, let's party as hard as we can to celebrate how much these two are in love tonight. Are you guys up for that? And now, friends and family, please join me. It's my very distinct honor and pleasure to present to you for the very first time, Mick and Lydia, husband and wife.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great job, man. Great job.
Thank you.
Finally, I get a hug. Have to get married to get a hug from you.
You specifically go get So go get drunk.
Go get drunk. She's like, okay. Alright, let's give them space so we can take pictures now. We should play some music.
Yes.
Thank you.
On it. And we're going to say goodbye to everybody abroad, elsewhere. Thanks all for taking the time to watch.